I don't think they ever got anything that I circled.
Ever?
Because this keeps coming up. Every year, I circled some army toys. I wanted some soldiers. Never got them, but I circled them every year.
Mm-hmm.
I used to just stare at the magazine and just pretend like I was playing with them.
Damn.
Welcome to the Hottest Wellness Podcast. I've got time with Cherry ShaKayla.
Here we discuss personal growth, relationships, and healing to become aligned with the best version of ourselves.
Hello.
Is it me you're looking for?
I was singing Adele, not
Lionel.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Lionel Richie, but when I think about that, I start hearing Trolls, and like all I can do is see like that girl Troll. You ever seen Trolls?
I've seen it, but I don't remember enough detail.
Oh man, we gotta watch Trolls. That's one of my favorite movies and the kids' favorite movies. Yeah, because the new Trolls about to come out, so you need to see Trolls 1 and 2 so you can be ready.
I've seen it. They're not bad movies.
So what's the problem? You want me to watch Christmas movies, but you can't watch Trolls?
First of all, you've never watched a Christmas movie with me outside of 4 Christmases, which I'm grateful for because that's like my favorite Christmas movie.
She over here saying that like I don't watch stuff she want to watch. 80% of the time we watch the stuff she
You brought up Christmas movies.
Because I'm saying if that's the equivalent.
I've seen Trolls more than once.
Okay.
More than twice. It's been on.
Whatever.
At your apartment.
Well, I'm going to watch Trolls.
Wow. So now you can watch it without me. That's crazy.
This is insane. This is a classic manipulation. How you doing, girl?
I'm okay. I'm making my way downtown. You know, walking moderately fast. Yeah.
Okay.
How you feeling?
I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. Yeah.
That was a bop.
It was, but I really do feel that way all the time. It's one of my favorite sayings.
That one part or the whole song?
I mean, the song is good, but like you don't need to sing the whole song because they don't apply. You just say, I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. It's like when you hanging on by a thread. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, get it together, Katie.
I seen this TikTok recently, and it was saying, you know those things that be like, we got ADHD. Of course we're this. And one of the things was them singing a song for everything. I always do that. I always sing a song for everything. There's a song for everything.
Trying to be like me, that's crazy.
I will never be like you because I'm not singing the opera.
The Broadway version. The theater.
Anywho.
Theater.
Well, this week we are switching up the podcast, the flow of the show, and whatnot. I decided, well, I just had an epiphany. I need to go to Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's our new segment. I just had an epiphany. Because Get It Off is cool. But I was starting to feel like it was becoming low vibrational. Like, and I think it's good for sometimes, but I think we should like swap it out also. I had an epiphany because sometimes you be growing and we should update y'all when we do, you know.
We be growing, changing, elevating.
Yeah.
Ascending, if you will.
This week we were having a conversation. I don't know what it stemmed from, but essentially we were talking about Beyonce, and because everybody on the internet is talking about, should she be talking about Palestine? It's not black women's job to really always jump in and do everything. And y'all know I've been going pretty hard for months on Beyonce. I have. But then, I don't know, what did you say to me? That made me change my mind?
Well, I guess a few different things.
Yeah, remember? I think we was talking about like parasocial relationships, and what that is basically when you literally don't know anybody. Usually it'd be like celebrities or people online, but you literally act like you know them, or you hold them to a standard like you have a personal relationship with them. And it's high-key weird, and I didn't realize I was doing that because I thought that was like fan behavior.
Well, I mean, it partially is fan behavior, but also just we don't know her, and we don't know everything that she's doing. She could be doing a lot, she could be doing a little, she could be doing nothing at all to help anybody in any community. But it's not our business what she's doing, honestly.
I'm not going to say it's not our business, because I feel like once you put stuff online, once you become a public figure, certain things is our business because you make it our business. But what I will say, what changed my perspective is that I felt like I was giving too much energy to it. Like, why am I so concerned? And it's so weird because I say that all the time about other stuff, like people being homophobic, you know, whatever the thing might be. And I'm literally was doing it myself. I was like, oh my God, is it me? Am I the problem? And I was the problem. And I feel like from that experience, or, you know, like just my mindset changing, I just realized that, first of all, your energy is so important. I say that all the time. And if you are basically just throwing around willy-nilly, worrying about what this person's doing, what that person got going on, what they're not doing, how much energy are you pouring towards you?
Yeah. Because that's the only thing. It's the only thing you can control. It's the only thing that you really should be worried about. I brought up the 4 agreements. I just kind of remembered. One of them is basically minding your business and only worrying about you. I can't remember what it is verbatim.
Is it the don't take it personal, or no? It's not that we take it personal.
I can't remember, but
we probably gonna post them.
Yeah. Either way, other people's lives are their lives, and if it's not really affecting you, just worry about you. Because you can't, it's not up to you what decisions they make or what decisions they should or shouldn't make.
Yeah.
Because it's their life.
Like, to me, the focus is not really on, like, it's their life. Like, yeah, absolutely, I think we should be minding our business to a certain extent. But for me, it was like, what am I doing? And what am I giving my energy to? And, like, is it being a complete waste? Because I feel like in any situation, whether it's a person, whether it's a job, if it's not reciprocating energy, if it's not filling your cup back up, then what are you doing? Yeah. And I was like, dang, what am I doing? And it just made me think about how much consumption is a distraction. Like, it's so easy because a lot of our lives is online. And that's also what was part of my epiphany, is that I wasn't doing right online or in real life. Okay? And I was like, you know, we constantly just taking everybody else, their lives, what they're doing, what they're buying. And that can truly be a distraction to your purpose and what you have going on in your actual life and what it is that you're trying to achieve. Like, and so, yeah, that was my epiphany. I feel like that was way more drawn out than I meant it to be, but whatever.
It's cool. It's all right, dog. Everything's gonna be all right, dog. I keep forgetting to look up that song.
But you bring it up like every week, though. At this point, Cherry wrote it.
I'll take it.
Well, this week we're doing gratitude. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for YouTube. It's been holding me down.
Yeah.
The past couple of weeks.
In what way?
Also overwhelming me a little bit, but that's actually a personal choice that doesn't have anything to do with YouTube for real. Been watching a lot of gaming. Been watching a lot of interviews and conversations about independent artists and the choices, the decisions, you know, stuff like that. But the gaming video's been holding me down for real.
Okay. I am grateful for reflection. I feel like I think I'm a person that reflects a lot, and I am in a sense, but like sometimes you be too close to really see what's going on. And so I'm just grateful for those moments when I can like truly reflect and in a sense have an ego death where I'm like a new version after I come to whatever realization, you know?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because reflection leads to growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, on YouTube, books, audiobooks. I know that's your bag.
Yeah, I love the Audible.
I got in where I fit in this week.
Audible, call me.
Yeah. Sponsor us. Your ad could be right here.
Right, and it could be double featured on our account and the Treehouse because, you know, if you guys are not following the Treehouse Retreat, you should go follow us on Instagram. We post a ton of spiritual / motivational / self-love content. And every Monday we have a read of the week. So it's our unofficial book club where we recommend books that we feel like the people should read for the personal understanding. And when you understand yourself, it impacts everybody else better. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Period. What are we talking about today?
On today, we are talking about your central nervous system, regulating your nervous system.
Yeah, I guess. Central nervous system isn't really it. It's just like just nervous system regulation.
Nervous system regulation.
Yeah.
There.
Do you know what the nervous system is?
It's everything low key.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in your body, all your reactions and responses to things, what you feel, all that jazz.
Even outside of what you feel, because it affects like how your body processes food. It literally almost controls every part of your body. And to me, it's like a group chat. It's like your brain is constantly giving signals to other parts of your body that's constantly giving signals to, you know, everything. It's just like a game of telephone. You remember telephone? Did y'all used to play that?
I don't think I ever played that.
It's like when somebody tell you something and then you whisper it in the next person's ear and they whisper in the next person in your ear and next person. And then by get back around, it'd be something totally different.
I've heard of it. I don't think I ever played it for real though.
You probably ain't have enough people to play with.
Not you calling me lonely.
I wasn't calling you lonely.
Friendless.
That's not what I was saying.
Outcast.
I literally played it in school. Like the teacher was saying, like we were playing it in school. All right, never mind.
I'm not sure.
I'm saying too much already.
Where the joke lies.
I didn't say it was funny.
Y'all saw her silent laugh after she said that.
It's only because after I said it, it was funny to me, but I didn't mean it that way at first. Yeah. So this is how your brain and your body is basically text messaging at each other all day and controlling all of your functions of every body system that we have.
Yeah.
And so if your nervous system is not in alignment, everything else in your body is not in alignment. Even the chemicals in your brain are like that one SpongeBob episode where they be setting everything on fire and like
the file cabinets and everything.
I love that episode.
I think about that a lot.
Shout out to SpongeBob, always coming through with the come through.
Classic representation. Also, you know what? We don't have to go there today.
Okay, we could go there. I mean, just say it real quick.
This is a grown man.
Is it?
SpongeBob is a grown man.
Okay.
I feel like it's not that he's all the way. I don't want to be offensive. It's not that he's not all there.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not the brightest star in the sky. He's not getting any assistance. How long has he been trying to get his driver's license? Even though he can drive. Because that one episode, when Miss Puff was like panicking, I don't remember what was happening, but the nigga was driving perfectly fine.
Honestly, he just likes to go to driving school. Honestly, I think you like thinking way too deeply of it, because I really think it's so surface level, like that he's a sponge. And sponges literally just exist. They're not doing a lot under the sea. They're just there. Mm-hmm. So, like, the personification of that would kind of be somebody that's just like seems real dumb or immature or like, you know, not giving a lot.
But he does at the same time. He's so complex, but so
Does it seem like he might be in the spectrum a little bit?
He's definitely on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Just like Patrick.
I mean, they're best friends for a reason.
Patrick's kind of a bum, but something's wrong with him.
I know what's wrong with him, okay? He's been neglected and he's traumatized. How long has he been living under that rock? We're getting so off track. Listen. When your nervous system is all fucked up, these are the type of symptoms you're going to have. This is how you know that you need to sit this fuck down somewhere and take a chill pill. If you overthink a lot and you tend to just be on edge, like, you know, just like kind of always in a stressful state.
Right out the gate.
I'm going to tell you, this content was very self-reflective, and I put a new meaning behind my health and what is wrong with me, not just emotionally, but on a physical level. And I don't think my now you got me saying central nervous system. I don't think my nervous system has ever been regulated in my entire life.
Jeez.
In my life. I probably was born and started getting traumatized immediately. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm like, that's serious. Like, they did not smack you. Well, they don't no more, I guess, but I don't think that's really a thing. So yeah, that's just what I'm saying, is that seeing all of these, I feel like I checked off basically everything on the list, and it was given, don't be shocked, you know, because I didn't realize how much, even though I knew how much our trauma impacts our body, I didn't realize it was like even on a cellular level, even like your brain function, everything was tied to it. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's all connected.
Yeah, it's definitely all connected. If you have like a lot of fears of being alone, like, oh, I'm going to be alone, or I feel abandoned, but then when you have the opportunity to have connections with people, you rather be secluded, probably. If you're constantly exhausted, but then you're not able to rest or relax, something about you feels like you should be doing something, got to be doing something. If you have a brain fog, your memory is not there. You might not remember a whole stage of your life. You might not have good short-term memory. You just be in the clouds, pretty much.
Winging it.
When you are prone to react instead of responding. Now, to me, this is just when people are triggered and they don't know they're triggered. So they're just like speaking from their pain or whatever happened to them, and not like what's actually happening in the moment. So, yeah. When you're on autopilot, do you ever catch yourself being on autopilot?
All the time.
Sometimes I'll be driving down the street and I'll be like, I'm all the way right here. It's like you just be going through the motions.
Yeah, that really be that happens a lot when I'm driving.
It's kind of scary when you think about it, because it's like you get all the way home and you're like,
how'd I get here?
You almost don't even remember what happened. I was taking Eva to her play date today, and where I was dropping her off at is like a couple streets over from her dad's house. Mm-hmm. And so I turned down the street like I normally do if I was taking them to the bus stop or dropping them off at their dad's. And then I kept driving straight to David's house. And I was like, oh my God, I'm literally passing their street. And I told Eva, I was like, I just must be in autopilot. Like I just was in the zone, you know? Mm-hmm. And that is dangerous, because if that is where your mind is, and you're not existing in a space that's actually happening around you, like, mm-hmm. Yeah.
It happens more when I'm doing something that I do all the time. Like when I'm at work sometimes, we have like these different checkpoints at my job that we have to hit throughout the day in different buildings. And one day I was just doing my routine, and 3 buildings down I realized I walked in one building and went to the checkpoints but didn't hit the checkpoints. Mm-hmm. I was just going through the motions.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely part of what's that word? Well, I can't think about dissociation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely think it's like a coping mechanism. Like if you're, I don't want to say doing something you don't want to be doing, but if your mind state is just like, I can't be here right now, like your body starts to protect you and just be like, okay, so you're not here.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I used to be even worse, I think. Like when I first met you, I would just be zoned out. But I honestly been like that since I was a kid. And people think I just wasn't a good listener. Like I would be on the phone with somebody and they'll be like, Shay. And they'd be like, huh? Or so if I'm watching TV, nothing else exists around me. And I'm just only realizing at this big age, like, damn girl.
Yeah.
You're traumatized.
You've been clocked out.
Yeah. Irregular breathing, feeling powerless yet having the need to control situations, other people. You know how stressful that is, because you can't control other people.
Yeah. So
you're constantly making yourself be stressed out, worried about everybody else, what they doing. Pretty much what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
If you feel very tense or if you regularly have pain in your body. I seen this TikTok one time, and this dude, he called it like the, I don't know, like the anxiety shoulders or something. And then it's like every time he noticed that his shoulders was risen up, and I was like, oh my God, I literally do that all the time. Like I catch myself, like my body's literally tense. Like, wow, girl.
I started paying attention to my face muscles. Like I noticed my face will be like
jaw clenched up.
Not even my jaw, just like the literal muscles in my face. And then I just like force them to relax.
Yeah. It's definitely like something that I'm doing like consciously. I have to like realize I'm doing it and then like put the energy towards stopping, because I could be like that all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like this is something we all can relate to, and we were talking about this last week on the episode about anxiety. It's like having a lot of irritability. Like everything's bothering you. You know, everything somehow is getting on your nerves just a little bit. Or it seems like all day you constantly have a little bit of attitude. Not sure why. Yeah.
Yikes. Take a look at yourself.
Having anxiety within itself is also a symptom of your nervous system not being regulated. And also, not if you just have regular stress, because that's normal to have stress, but if it's worsening stress. Like it's stress on top of stress on top of stress on top of stress. Like you're never not in a stressful state. You're constantly always either overthinking, worried, trying to plan for something, assessing yourself. There's literally no time for you to just be in your body. That's wild. And then the last thing was difficulty concentrating or trouble focusing. And I thought about last week when we said how people be diagnosing themselves with ADHD. And it's like a lot of us don't have ADHD. We're traumatized and our central... I can't stand you now. Our nervous system is dysregulated.
Yeah.
When you think about this and like, I guess, realizing that your nervous system is sometimes not regulated, why do you think that is? What do you think for you personally is causing your nervous system to be like, honey?
Because I'm nervous all the time.
But why? What is underneath that? Like,
the first thing that came to mind was insecurity, but it's deeper than that.
I was gonna say it was them Law and Order episodes.
Definitely those Law and Order episodes. You know, they really did me in.
That's the crazy thing. I feel like that was ridiculous. Like in the 90s and early 2000s, how people their kids didn't have to watch a kid show. Like now, this day and age, we turn off the TV if my kid come in the room and it's like we're watching something that is not something they're allowed to watch. They have kid channels. When we was kids, it was like, this is what's on in the living room and that's what you're watching. And that could be Law and Order. It could be a Lifetime movie. And this is all this stuff that you're seeing and it's impacting you, and now you getting fears of shit that literally would never ever think about as a kid ever.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That, and I don't know. I'm always thinking I don't want to say or do the wrong thing, no matter what the situation is, even if it's like just a lighthearted moment. It's like, I don't know. I just be overthinking it, and it's never really that serious. Like, even if I say a joke, like, is my joke gonna land? You know?
Yeah. I feel like that just come with time of learning to love yourself, but also learning to not give a fuck what nobody else think about you. But that's a hard thing. It's like, to me, it's a challenge every day, depending on what situation you might be in. You might start a new job, and essentially you might not care what those people think about you, but you care what they think about you, you know? So it's a thing.
Yeah. What about you? What's going on over there?
Well, like I stated earlier in this episode, I have experienced a lot of trauma. And I think that for a lot of people, including myself, that is like one of the main causes. If you have experienced even one traumatic event or several traumatic events, now your body is in, what is it called? Fear.
Fight or flight?
Yeah. Flight, freeze.
Fight, flight, or
we're gonna
freeze.
Get to that. Okay, we're gonna get to that. I don't know. So basically, it's something that we never healed from when it happened, and we're holding on to it. We carrying over whatever pain or, you know, whatever emotions that we never resolved, and you never let it go. Even if it's not at the forefront of your mind, it's sitting within your body, and that's crazy.
I just realized there's makeup all right here.
Damn, it's okay. The girls get it. They get it.
Okay.
That's because I put makeup down my neck to make sure it was matching. So every time I do this, it's like rubbing off. It's cool though.
Okay.
And then of course, if you're experiencing trauma right now, like you're literally gonna check out if you're in a traumatized state. You in an abusive relationship, you blowing within wind. You know what I'm saying? If you are super stressed out, the only way you can cope and get through that stress is by being dysregulated.
Yeah.
People who have addictions or are prone to addictions, their nervous system is usually dysregulated. I think part of it is our physical body, that those are toxins. They don't belong in our body. If it's not a chemical that our body is not naturally creating, it really shouldn't be there. And our body is responding to that, reacting to that, having allergic reactions to stuff. And we don't even realize. We think it's normal. It's like for how many years everybody was drinking milk.
Mm-hmm.
And it was normal. It was normal. And I never really liked milk for real. And I always thought it was weird. Like, why are we drinking cow's milk?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only milk we're really meant to have, just like all other mammals, is our mama's milk when they're breastfeeding us. After that, drink some fucking water.
Yeah.
And that alone is messing up your body. And so if your stomach is not right, it's sending impulses to your brain, and then it's sending impulses to other parts of your body, and now you're in pain, and you're like, why do I have all this inflammation? And it's like your diet.
Yeah. Diet's a big thing.
Yeah. If you're living in an unsafe environment, which is more common than we think, you know, that will cause you to have a dysregulated system. Like something we talked about in past episodes about like how important it is for your environment to be like peaceful or supportive, or, you know, just, I always say you can't heal in the same place that you got hurt at. Like, I feel like if you're still existing in that space, how are you going to move past those feelings if you're constantly still feeling it, still feeling it, still feeling it? Like, you can't. And then any life transitions we might have. So if you experience death, like you had a near-death experience, or maybe somebody close to you died, pregnancy, the hormones is crazy when you're pregnant. You can only imagine. And after you give birth, you're truly a different person. Your body will never be the same chemically again. And going through like a divorce, something like that. Something that caused you a lot of grief, I feel like. Yeah. It's all making sense for me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Here for you.
I appreciate that. Honestly, I don't know how I would be getting through right now without Cherry. I think, I don't want to sound super morbid, but I've always had issues with like suicidal thoughts and stuff. And if it wasn't for like Max and Evan and Cherry, I probably would have did it by now.
The animation. This is not funny at all, but
I'm not trying to make it a funny thing because it's like very serious, it's very real, but like just think if your body's always in a stressful space, you never ever feel safe. You never ever feel like everything's gonna be okay. You feel like life is not worth living. Like, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And girl, the mental health is mental health link.
The way you said that.
It should be a mental health thing.
Yeah.
It's giving an extra splash, that Elling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I feel like I want to go back to why the nervous system is so important. Like we said, how it. What you laughing at?
I'm trying to keep my composure. Okay. I feel like you're really on it tonight.
Am I?
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm like really, like, this is really impacting me. Yeah. So there's, the nervous system is broken down into like 3 parts. Technically 2, and then the 2 is broken down. One of them is broken down into another 2. So first there's the central nervous system, and
my homegirl.
Yeah, apparently. This is responsible for your responses, your sensations, your movement, your emotions, how you communicate, the way you process your thoughts, and your memory. So that just in itself is already like, if that's messed up, how are you dealing?
You out of luck.
I know so many people who have had traumatic experiences and they have bad memory and they just chalk it up into having bad memory. But it's like, you literally, your brain literally said you're so traumatized that the only thing you can do to feel safe is to forget this.
That's so scary to me. That's like when people develop a split personality, but for the sake of not losing anybody, let's say it's just one personality created, but it was created to protect the other one, the original one. That shit is scary.
That's literally what it's like. Like that movie, what is it? Is it called Split?
Yeah.
This is such a good movie. If you have never seen it, like, go see it for real, because it's a good movie.
It is really good.
I don't want to give no spoilers. Just know that it's related to what Cherry just said. And definitely it's like a coping mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes that's why we be having like a lot of inner voices. Mm-hmm. You know, some people, they don't have an inner voice. Like, they don't have a voice that's saying shit to them in their head. Like, they don't. People say they're bots or like, you know.
How do they read quietly? Because you hear it when you read it.
I don't know. Maybe they don't read quietly. I can't give you a full elaboration because I'm not one of those people. My brain is constantly talking to me.
How do they think? How do you make decisions?
Baby, what I'm saying is there's not a voice that feels like it's communicating to you. Like, say in a spiritual sense, you're like, I am not my thoughts. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts is a whole different entity. But when you have like voices in your head, it's not you in a sense. I don't want to sound crazy. I really don't.
You're not sounding crazy. It's like, am I crazy?
I mean, I feel like,
who are these people?
They're people that you probably use to cope and protect yourself. Anyways.
Ooh, child.
Yeah, but a lot of people do that. They like have the worst memory. I'm going to open up about something because I feel like I should, or like it's a good place, and also going to be healing for me. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know how to open up this conversation. I want to not say too much because I want to keep it focused on really how it impacted me. But when I was a child, I was being like essayed, okay? And I kind of always knew in the back of my mind, like I thought something happened to me, but I didn't know because I literally had no recollection of it. None. Not a memory, not a thought. It just was gone. And I'll say last year probably. Maybe it was a little bit before last year. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably been like 2 years. And I literally just started having memories. And I think it was because I was healing a lot of stuff in me. And so now I had more space to let go of things in me. Mm-hmm. And I was just having memories. And then I remember what happened to me. And I remember what it felt like. And I was just like, I'm still not okay. And coming out or going through that right now, I realized like this is a big part of why my nervous system has not been regulated. Like, I've been holding on to these emotions, these feelings, what happened to me, never talked to anybody about it. And it was a very disturbing situation. Like, of course, any child being sexually assaulted is disturbing, but I don't want to get all the way into it. Just know that it was layers and layers, and I don't think I'm ever going to heal from that happening to me. I just don't.
I don't believe that.
I feel like I'm always, it's 111. Maybe spirit telling me I am. But I feel like basically there's always going to be a constant reminder in my life of what happened to me. And that is why I'm never going to get over it. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely, the memories was just gone. But when I tell you they came flooding back in, first I didn't know how to respond. I thought I was tripping or whatever. I didn't tell anybody about it for a long time, for like a year. And then randomly I was talking to my grandmother and I told her. And then right after I got off the phone with my grandma, then I called Cherry and I told her. And like, it felt good to say something, but it doesn't take away what happened. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it always helps though when you can not just say it to anybody, but obviously somebody you would feel safe talking to about it. But like, I feel like that plays a part in being able to release how you feel about it.
Yeah.
And how it's impacting you.
Or just to sit in those feelings. And I feel like that's one thing that's keeping me holding on to the pain is that I don't want to think about it. I don't want to feel how I felt. Like, it's just scary, honestly. And then I feel silly and goofy because I'm like 33. This person's not in my life. Like, why is this impacting me? But it is, you know?
I mean, it was painful and scary. It doesn't matter how old you are. Like, that hurt you.
Yeah. We'll probably get into the details of that in my book later. The next part of it is the peripheral nervous system. Now, this is the part that is broken up into two different parts. There's the somatic nervous system, and that controls your muscles, your relay, like your body responses, information that is being communicated from your eyes to your ears, even your skin, everything, right? So
it's like your senses.
Yeah. And then there's the autonomic nervous system, and this controls your involuntary bodily functions. So everything that your body does, but you actually have no control over, like going to the bathroom, digestion, swallowing, everything. And it just made me realize, like, so many people have a lot of health issues, and we're constantly being pushed drugs and drugs and drugs. And they're probably really just traumatized. They probably really need some therapy and some holistic healing. Because how can your body regulate itself if it's constantly, you know,
being manipulated by chemicals? Yeah.
How do you feel like when your nervous system is not regulated, how do you feel like that's like impacting you regularly?
Makes me feel like no matter what I'm rushing, I don't feel like, it makes me feel like I don't have time for anything. Like, yeah, I feel like that's the easiest way to put it.
I feel that.
I feel like I just feel unraveled and unorganized and not in control of what's happening in my life.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling, because it's like that's really the only thing you can control is you, and it's like
yeah, I feel like a part of that is like not trusting that I can get the control, or that I already have it.
Yeah. And this is the stuff I be talking about when people like, you could just change your mindset, and it's like nothing has happened to you, so it's easy for you to say, oh, just shift your mindset. But when there's trauma buried deep inside your body and it's affecting every last one of your organs, you can't just change your mindset and start thinking differently so you can be manifesting everything you deserve or whatever the fuck else people be trying to sell on the internet. I feel like for me, I feel stuck. I feel stuck physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Every part of me feels like I'm in a straitjacket and I can't move. And that's what I do, is I don't move. This ain't funny, but I'm here, it don't move.
I knew that was where you were going.
Oh my God. The internet is so funny. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what comes to our next point of what we were saying is all of that, it triggers us to go into flight, fight, or freeze. You can probably experience all of these. You might be prone to experiencing one of these. It might be like a this, and then this.
Ooh, I gotta chill.
Oh, they're multiplying. I seen that. It was like, you know on Space Jam when the aliens be going into their body and they be like, oh. That's exactly what you was giving. You know what I'm talking about?
I was touching the basketball.
Literally.
We should watch that movie.
We should watch that. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Too much shit.
Yeah, it's a good movie for real though. Your fight response, I feel like, is the part of you that feels like you need to protect yourself. Like maybe your inner child wound is that you weren't protected as a kid. So you're like on defense mode. You know what I'm saying? And if you felt like nobody really had your back or looked out for you, or things happened to you where somebody should have protected you, you probably be coming in through the fight. And this is, I feel like, where a lot of mommy issues come in. We could be naturally just have a lot of anger stored in us, be really aggressive, super belligerent. You ever see those people and it's like, it could be something that is such a situation that can be resolved calmly, but they have to start cussing somebody out and hooting and hollering and pretty much Karening. And it's like, who hurt you? And why are you at the drive-thru window cussing me out? Because I gave you a small instead of a medium. Baby, we can fix this drink. What's going on?
Yeah. People be upset. Like, every day. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's like part of me give it to them because it's like, at least they're not, I guess, holding in. But then the other part is like, okay, but why are you taking out on everybody else?
Right.
Like, they be yelling, hollering, screaming at people. They're always nitpicky. They're not ever happy or satisfied with whatever is going on. They'll find something to complain about. Like, damn, girl. Mm-hmm. And then this made me think about people I used to work with or work for, like super micromanaging, very passive, getting very defensive when it is, you know, you trying to do your job. I'm just saying. I was like, damn, these bitches be fighting for their life for real. Dead ass. I feel like I used to have that energy a lot, and I realized in my last relationship or after it that that's what I was giving. And so I've grown a lot since then. I healed a lot since then. And I don't necessarily have that anger. I'm not waiting for somebody to do something to me. I used to be waiting for it. Like, one time somebody told me I was looking for racism, and I was like, the fuck? I don't have to look for racism, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, I was manifesting me constantly getting into situations where racist shit was happening to me. Not saying that black people deserve it or it's our fault or anything, but that's just how, like, the law of attraction work. You're thinking about it, you're waiting for it to happen, you're expecting it to happen. It's gonna happen. And that could be on a good side or that could be on an unhealthy side. Like, you could feel you're gonna be expected to get $1 million and you just know it and you just feel it in your heart and you can get $1 million, but you could also feel like you're gonna be homeless next year and guarantee you will be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you believe is true. Thoughts become things. Yeah.
Thoughts are scripts.
Like a storyline.
Damn, the word left me that fast. A
manuscript?
Not
No.
manuscript. Damn, it'll come to me. Damn.
The next is the fight. You feel like you could relate to the fight?
The fight?
I mean, flight. That's what I meant. The flight. Oh my goodness, I can't talk.
I think so. Yeah.
I think I've gotten better at it, but even like with the beginning of our relationship, I was very prone to self-sabotage, and I feel like that is part of the flight response. Like, you might feel unsafe or like you need to get away from a situation that's really not safe. You're just being triggered by something that happened to you in the past that literally has nothing to do with what's happening. Or like some of us with those abandonment wounds, we're like constantly waiting for another person to walk out our life or another person to treat us bad. And then we sabotage a lot of like the good experiences that are coming to our life because we count them out as another bad thing. Like, some people, they cannot resolve relationships or issues. They have to just cut people off. And it's like, it was easier for them to just cut off the relationship no matter how long they've been friends or whatever they've been through. But they like just wanted to get rid of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like, I need to get out of here because this is causing me too much stress. But never actually resolving what happened.
I think my flight is yielding to that. Like, what was the last thing you just said? They feel like they need to get out of it. My getting out of it is yielding to it.
What do you mean by that? Because I feel like I don't know what that means.
Basically, trying to avoid whatever the confrontation or conflict is at any cost. Like, is this person getting upset? Okay, let me just be over here. Or any hint of conflict, depending on the person. But in most cases, it's kind of like I'm just trying to avoid it.
Or maybe even suppress how you feel so you don't have to engage with whatever issue that's happening. It's like, nothing's happening. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Like, basically pretending the shit didn't happen or it's not bothering you. Even though.
That happens a lot with strangers. Or, like, at work or something. Like, something will happen, but it's like, I feel like I can't respond. So I don't respond. Or my response is not really how I feel. But it's like just to make it go away.
I'm a giant flake. Part of it is a coping mechanism, but also to me part of it is a healthy boundary for me. Because I've come to the conclusion that if I don't want to do something, if it doesn't feel right to me, I shouldn't do it. No matter really how much the other person is going to feel about it, because I can only control how I feel. If I know this makes me feel really bad, then I'm not going to do it. Okay. I definitely too will do the same thing. I will avoid conversations or avoid people. Like, I have a friend, we've been friends for over 10 years, and some weird shit happened when I was at her home, and in the moment I literally didn't know what to do, how to respond. I froze up. I was like nervous, laughed it off. But as time went by and I thought about it, I started to get pissed off because I felt like she should have responded differently to what happened as my friend, and she didn't. And so every time she asked me to hang out with her, even though I wanted to hang out with her, I didn't want to see her because I didn't want to have to talk about what happened. I didn't want to have to confront her about it, because then it's like, I don't want to be the person that's bringing up, oh shit, I don't want it to be like a whole big thing. But sometimes it is a big thing because our feelings are valid. No matter how small the issue is to you, if it's an issue for you, you should communicate it. Because then I tell myself, well, she'll never know how I feel if I don't say anything. Like, she could have been wrong all day, but I never told her that I felt hurt because of what happened. So, yeah.
Yeah. You gotta speak your piece.
Or you won't have none.
Period. Why don't do that no more?
I think because it just got start getting overused, and of course white people was doing it. Anytime white people start doing a black thing way too regularly, it's like, yeah, we're not gonna do this.
Cancel.
Yeah. And that's why it'd be hard to just have black shit nowadays. Because with social media, it's like they just keep picking up on everything we're doing, where it used to say local to our communities. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kanye.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. The freeze actually hurt my feelings.
How so?
Because I feel like I had to be honest with myself. And even though I am honest with myself, I'm not honest enough to make a change in my behavior. I'm just like, I notice it, like, this is what I be doing. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, I literally am responsible for my nervous system being dysregulated because I keep doing this instead of, trying to resolve the feelings that I'm having. And that's me. I will avoid feelings at all costs. I don't want to cry. If I'm angry, I'll usually suppress it. If I'm sad about something, although people might know I'm sad and they can tell I'm sad, I'm not going to talk about it. Really, I'm not. And if I go through stuff, it feels like I have to go through it alone. I don't usually tell a lot of people. Like, say if I be sick in the hospital, I don't tell nobody I'm in the hospital. I like call my grandmother or my sister, and that's it. And then my friends be like, you were in the hospital for a month? What? And they take it personally, but it's like, it's really not about you. It's just that was too much for me emotionally, mentally, physically. That was just going to offset my nervous system even more, sharing that. So this is what they say. It's the inability to move, wanting to stay home, numbing. And numbing, they said, it could be like binging Netflix, gaming, social media scrolling, binge eating, excessive alcohol consumption. Yeah.
I'm gonna just walk right over that Netflix binging and pretend like this doesn't apply to me.
Yeah. I feel like in certain ways I have realized my behavior and changed it in some of these things. And I really have really COVID to thank for that, because otherwise I wouldn't have noticed any of these things about myself, because I would have been constantly on go mode, still going. And so when we had that time to just really only be with ourselves, only sit in our own feelings and thoughts, and not have to engage in anything physically, it all started hitting me, realizing what I was doing and everything. Definitely. I feel like a lot of people, they think that they're introverts, but really their nervous system is not regulated. Yeah, because you got to think about it. Are you an introvert? But when you go out to places, you be having hella anxiety and shit. You're not an introvert, boo-boo. You're not. Being an introvert doesn't mean you're having anxiety when you go out. It just means you don't like to. I prefer to stay in. I enjoy doing activities that's more at home or, with a close group of friends. That's an introvert. But if you just avoiding doing that stuff, anytime it's avoidance, baby, there's something deeper there.
Wow. Didn't know I was going to get called out like that.
It really hit me, first of all, for me with the gaming. I've said this 1,000 times before, and I know it's an issue. One of my biggest coping mechanisms, but also addictions, is playing The Sims. And it's crazy because I'll go 4 months and not even think about play it. And then I'll go 3 weeks and constantly play it. And for me, part of it is that this is a virtual reality, so I can just be in this whole different life, do the money, cheat, buy all these stuff I want to buy, and not really have to put energy into my real life. But obviously that's super unhealthy. And then when you're not doing anything in your real life, life keeps going. Shit's still happening around you, and your life is falling apart. And I'm over here downloading CC. So, yeah, I was like, damn.
Way to call us out. What do you want us to grow and change for the better? Nonsense.
Yeah. They say that it's really survival mode that we're in that causes these different reactions. And so if you've been in survival mode for a long period of time, then you're probably going to go to the freeze response. It's like you skip everything else and you just...
Not today.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here and be in this world.
Yeah. I heard people say stuff about survivor mode, but I guess I knew what the context of it was, but I never, really educated myself on the depth of it and how it is that we're being impacted, and honestly where it's from. I thought, it's just trauma, But I didn't realize your whole body is dysregulated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
It's like you're just trying to make it to the next moment without
Literally.
falling apart.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. Hanging on by a thread. That's why I say, still alive, but I'm barely breathing. There are 5 indicators to know if you are existing in survival mode. And of course, you could have these symptoms and you're not in survival mode. You just might be experiencing going through something. But if you feel like 3 out of 5 of these things apply to you, you probably should look into that.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is constant exhaustion. If you always feel tired, it don't matter how much sleep you get. It don't matter how much you try and pour back into yourself. You can't get back to a good place. I feel like that can be combated with self-care. And I don't want to exaggerate self-care, make it seem like, oh, that one thing is going to change your life. But when we are pouring into ourselves, then that is how we regenerate our energy. You know, it's like you're rejuvenating yourself. So that is what's giving you the energy to keep going and keep going. Like, you might not be put enough energy into your care, whether that is your hobbies, like, or having free time, whatever it is that you need to do to chill out. It's not happening. Like, whatever your self-care is, you know. I always think about my plants because they say when your plants is doing bad, that's like a reflection of how you are. Or even like the room, how your room is, how messy it is, that's a reflection of your like mental state. And it's making a lot of sense.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I feel like I was starting to reflect reading the notes on this episode before we started recording. Well, not just then, but now as we're having the conversation, as you're saying these things, it's like really sinking in.
Yeah. It kind of makes you feel bad, but I feel like we shouldn't feel bad because it's out of our control. Like, when you go into these different modes, it's a response from your entire body. It's not something that you can do to control it. And so, like, I feel like when people be saying like they're lazy or, you know, whatever stigmas people get when they have like mental health issues and stuff, it's usually because they just can't. And people don't understand that unless it's them. Like, they just don't get it. It's almost like your body is still existing here, but you're not in it. You know? It's like you're just a shell of a person.
Damn.
Yeah. So the next key indicator is if you neglect your relationships. I do that. I don't do it because I don't care about my friends. It's just I be having my own shit going on. I don't want to talk about what's going on with me. I don't have the space to hear about what's going on with them. And I just be out of here. I don't be there.
Yeah. I don't know if... I don't think I It's a thin line for me sometimes between neglecting a relationship and just... I don't want to hear nothing that you about to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's different. And it's also different neglecting a relationship and choosing to take space from them. Like, I went no contact with my dad. I'm not neglecting our relationship. This is a personal, serious choice that I said, I'm not doing this shit no more. What was I going to say? I was going to say something.
We're talking about neglecting relationships.
Yeah.
And setting a boundary.
I don't know. I forgot already. I hate that. See, and this is a thing too. This is how it impacts your memory. And like, you know, because I smoke, people say, oh, it's because you smoke all that weed. But it's like, two things correlate. A lot of people smoke weed because it is a coping mechanism, just like alcohol is. A lot of people are more addicted than they think they are to weed. And you're trying to get out of something. You're trying to get away from something. That's why you keep consuming whatever that substance is. Like, yeah. When you having these issues though, it's important to like seek safe spaces. Like, you might not be able to talk to all your friends about what's going on, but maybe you could talk to one friend, or maybe you could see your therapist, and that might be the only basically relationship you have technically where you're opening it up, but you just at least need to have one safe space to rest in, you know what I'm saying? And also understanding your capacity. Like, going to therapy can be super overwhelming because you are like constantly digging stuff. And so it's like, you know, you got to take it little bite sizes when you're doing that. And so if you know, oh, this one issue, every time I think about it, it causes me to just lose everything going on in my life, start going crazy. You probably don't have the capacity at that point to work on this or heal this within you. Like, you're going to have to come back when you have more energy to give. This is what I was going to say. I do have a lot of friends, but the majority of my friends, all of them are long distance. We don't live nowhere near close to each other, and we have those relationships where we're really, really close, but we check in. Or we might just only text, or we might just only send each other memes, or whatever the capacity of our relationship is. And there are some people, they have a lot of friends, but they are very involved in those relationships. I don't know if y'all remember, but this was super long time ago where I was telling y'all that we only can give one person or thing up to 10% of our energy. So say if you didn't even get great sleep last night, you ain't have no breakfast, you're already down to 70%. Okay, it's 9 a.m. And you might as well go ahead and deduct a good 30% because of them kids.
50.
And then you go to work, you're already depleted, okay? And then you come home and your homegirl calls you and they're like venting, or even sometimes just talking about regular shit is too much. And especially now where so much fucked up shit is going on. We're like in the middle of war. People don't have no money. There's so many homeless people around. It's like constantly so overwhelming, and you don't know what to do. So the only thing you do is like disengage from that. So you have to know like what your capacity is. Like, I might have all these friends, but I have to set boundaries with myself and say, I don't have the energy to get to this relationship at that time. I should probably communicate like, hey girl, I'm going through something. Like, don't take it personally. I'm just, I'm going through something. And I will communicate that. But the thing is, people think like you're going through something for like a week or a month. And I've been going through something for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And people think, oh, I'm a bad friend, or I'm neglecting them, or I'm being selfish. But I don't have anything to give to myself, like, at all. And so that's why it's really important to just be mindful of your capacity. Like, yeah.
And ask about that before you start talking to people, honestly.
Yeah, my sister does that, and when she did it, I haven't started repeating the behavior yet because my boundaries are not good with this. But she say like, do you have the space for this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so instead of just jumping on the call and start overwhelming you, it's like, okay, how you doing? Do you have the space to talk about this? And if you don't, then, we can keep it surface level. And sometimes that's just what you need. Yeah.
Shout out. I feel like I was about to say something, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't know. I thought posing would help.
Not the pose. I just started singing Cassidy in my head. chilling in the club with my b-boy
Oh,
stance.
my hoodie on and my gun in my pants. I'm fresh stuff. I'm
Yeah.
fresh stuff.
Because you know he was like in the video. Okay, the next thing is that you are overwhelmed all the time. The smallest thing sets you off. You already on edge, and it's just the littlest thing that sets you off. I can relate to that so bad.
I don't know if I'll be. I'm lying. I was gonna say I don't know if I'll be reaching the set off point, but I do. I'm always on edge, so.
Yeah. I mean, you know where you at your limit because you like, if one more person say something to me, if I have to tell my child to do this one more time, that's when you're on your last straw. That's when you know you're super overwhelmed. And like for me, I recognize that I'm overstimulated. Like if there's too many things going on at once, there's too many tasks that I need to get done, even though I don't have to do all those tasks at one time or at the same day, I automatically get overwhelmed just in my head thinking like, and I have to fold the laundry, and now I have to wash the dishes, and then I have to take this kid there and this kid there, and even though all that stuff is not happening simultaneously, I start getting overwhelmed and I can't do nothing. It's an issue.
I've been feeling that more and more lately.
I hate that. And that's what you can do to help with that, is to complete one task at a time. To take it one thing at a time. Take it moment to moment. Take it day to day. Like we stress ourselves out when we put so much on our plate, and it's like we're the only ones putting that on our plate. Or at the very least accepting the responsibility or the burden of whatever it is that you're taking on. So we have to tell ourselves no. We have to tell other people no and be like, you know, this is not a priority for me. And when you recognize your priorities, you can go, this is the thing I need to get done. This is the thing I need to get done. This is the thing I need to go. And then maybe you might be relieved of some of that stress. Note to self.
What helps me sometimes, what I do when, well, I don't really do it that much. I just do it different now. But kind of like when I do my grocery list, when you hit something or you get something, just take it off. So it's not even there. It's more exciting to do the next thing when you see the list getting shorter.
It's so hard for me because I do have ADHD, and so I cannot sit down and complete one task. It's virtually impossible for me. If I start doing one thing, I'm going to end up doing another thing and end up doing another thing. And I got some advice recently, and it was if you start this one thing and then you end up doing 3 other things, you have to just be mindful and put a reminder, let me go back to the first thing. You just have to keep recalibrating yourself until you have that muscle memory to, keep staying focused on that one thing. Or you just have to use it to your advantage. Like I was saying the other day, I had like 2 different projects I was working on, and you were like, well, just finish this one and then you could work on that one later. And I was like, well, my brain don't work like that. It's like I need to go between the projects because I'm finding inspiration and creativity, and I just can't finish anything at one time. So how you doing that? Emotional numbness.
Perfectionist, so.
And really that just comes down to dissociation. If you dissociate a lot, if you are, hello? Yeah. You are numb emotionally. And it's like literally your body is saying, I can't do anything else for you. I've done all I can do. I done walked, I done talked, I done breathed for you today, and I can't do anything else. And then your brain starts to glaze over, and nothing that's happening is happening to you anymore. It might be happening around you, but you're not experiencing it.
Damn.
And it's sad because you don't have memories of those things, because whatever it is that's taking priority in your mind or in your body, it's overtaking whatever that's happening in real life. So you might be going to a movie with your kid. You might be at Disneyland, like really having core memories. But if you're in this stressful state, you don't remember none of that shit because what it was happening, you were thinking about something totally else.
Yeah.
And that's sad as fuck.
Yeah.
And they said, just go see a therapist. If you clocking out and you just got to work, go see a therapist. Immediately.
Wow. Give me some good insurance and I will.
Did you catch that when I said immediately?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the last indication that you are not thriving, but in survivor mode, is that you're lacking motivation. And that might be normal. Sometimes you lack motivation, but if it's continuous, if it's long term, if you don't have interest in the things that you used to have interest in, then that could probably, indicate, yeah.
Motivation. That song is never really going to be dedication anymore because so many things can go in the place of that word.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Rip.
And you can support yourself, like when you feel like you're lacking motivation, is by relearning yourself. Like the more that you get to know yourself and rediscover the things that you like and enjoy, you might be a whole new bitch. You know what I'm saying? You might be on some different things. Like I'll be like on Pinterest deciding who is my new persona, like who am I in the future and what does that look like, what hobbies do they have, and that kind of excites me about the future, like, and pulls me out of that lack of motivation. It's like, okay, you know what, maybe I do want to do something. So when you learn yourself, you think about what possible goals you might have and have some new hobbies, which is so good for healing your inner child too, when you just do shit that you used to want to do but never did.
Yeah,
it does something.
Like finally get a remote control car that isn't attached to the control, so you have to actually walk with it.
This is so specific. At Cherry Spirit. That was wild, baby.
I mean, still great car, beautiful gowns, just not exactly what I was.
Right, she was
circling.
trying to get the Hummer truck. Like, you remember when they came out with those? It was raw.
Literally circled everything I wanted in the catalog.
And they said,
I don't think they ever got anything that I circled.
Ever?
I don't think so.
Or just that year?
Because this keeps coming up. Every year, I circled some army toys. I wanted some soldiers. Never got them, but I circled them every year.
Mm-hmm.
I used to just stare at the magazine and just pretend like I was playing with them.
Damn. I feel like shit like this is why people grow up and not enjoy holidays. Like for me, I'm very well aware that I hate the holidays for several reasons. I hate the idea of Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. I hate that it's starting to get cold and now you having all these emotions from the change of the vibe. Mm-hmm. I hate Santa Claus because, nigga, I bought those toys and I deserve credit for that.
Yeah.
I hate thinking about the previous Christmases I had growing up, and we had a few good Christmases, but most of them were not good memories, and I feel some type of way about that. So every year is just a reminder of all the things that I didn't have or didn't experience.
Yeah.
And then it's my mom's death anniversary too, and so I hate this time of year. Hate it. Hate the holidays.
Yeah.
Triggered.
I feel that.
Yeah.
It just feels like a bunch of pressure that I don't want. I don't like the responsibility that comes with holidays. I don't like the obligations. I don't like
the expectation.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
And then this is when you start getting anxiety too, because you probably don't want to show up to no fake shit, like Kanye said. And you don't want to go see your family dinners because then certain stuff is going to be brought up, or whatever family drama, or
you just don't feel like being around them. You just don't.
It's a million reasons. I'm giving you a million reasons. A million reasons.
I don't know this song.
It's Lady Gaga. If I had something, I would run for the hill. It's from that movie with old dude from The Hangover, Bradley Cooper.
Never saw it. I know what you're talking about. Never saw it.
Try to make the worst seem better. Okay.
Speaking of making things better,
I got 1,000 reasons to let you go. Baby, all I need is one reason to stay.
Well, we've got time, and you've got time, but this time, yeah. We're going to continue this conversation in part 2, which is going to be posted later this week. We're going to share some tips on how to regulate your nervous system. And we're going to play our Shay's favorite game, Song Association.
What's your favorite game?
Beyonce edition.
What's your favorite game? We haven't played that many games on the show.
I don't know if I have a favorite game on the show yet.
You don't like games? It's like one of the things I brought over from the blank space. Like, it's game night, bitch.
I'm not opposed to games. I just don't know if I have a favorite.
Okay, well.
I mean, Song Association is fun.
I love it. I love it on the Terrell show. I love it on... Is it...
Vogue?
Yeah, Vogue Song Association. I love it. Because you get to know people's music taste. Because it's like, that's the song that they went to with that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get good at it. Because you be watching and they say a word and you be like, this. And they be like, ding. The time just ticking down. Like, I love it.
Yeah. We also love new segments. We're going to introduce a new mystery segment in part 2 as well.
I'm excited.
And you just can't hide it?
I can hide it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Those emotions I'm suppressed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we say that we've got time, or?
I mean,
Let's say.
might as well.
No, not might as well. Let's just end it at might as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Might as well.
What?